Okay, everyone. The name of this video is My Reading Story, and I call it My Reading Story because it's the story of in particular, this year I started reading 60 books, and I'm about to finish 58 of them before the end of the year. That's the most books I've ever read in my life. And why that's important is because there was a time when you could not force me to read a book. So a little history. I read at a 12th grade level in the 6th grade, but I would never read on my own. I would never pick up a book and just read all the way through. I read children's books all the way through, but that's not the same thing when children's books are like 10 pages long. So I never read an actual novel or full-length book from cover to cover. And even with the textbooks at school, you skip around a lot, you skip a lot of material, so I had never read one of those books from cover to cover either. So it took me all the way till I got into my my last 2 years of college. And long story short, something happened to me when I was in college, and I thought I was gonna die. Something very dangerous happened to me when I was in college. I thought I was gonna die, and I was like, before I die, let me read one book all the way through. So that's what I did. I believe the first novel that I read from cover to cover was The Best Revenge. I think it's by Stephen White. Hold on a second. Novel The Best Revenge. Nope. Yeah, it was Stephen White, The Best Revenge. And I remember that cover. Yeah, Stephen White, The Best Revenge. The first novel that I ever read cover to cover. And I don't want to spoil it for you, but the Best Revenge is about a guy who gets out of prison. A guy who is wrongly convicted. I believe, I don't remember what the conviction was, but it was a felony conviction. He was wrongly convicted and sent to prison. And eventually they figured out that he didn't do it. So they released him from prison early from the sentence. He got out on appeal, and basically what happened was there was these two FBI agents, and I think that they were the ones who originally investigated the case. So there were these two FBI agents. And basically, they tracked him down, and the two FBI agents thought that he got off on a technicality. They thought he was actually guilty. So the two FBI agents came up with a plot to get revenge against him for being guilty and getting off anyway. So what they did was they created this sort of prison cell in the middle of the woods. And they trapped this guy there, and they tortured him. So that's the premise of the film, and I was so surprised. I was so surprised by how true to life that story was. When I look back at it over all these years, I realized how true to life that story was. I mean, it was just spot on. And after that, my reading just exploded. I read this book caught my eye. It was called Fatal Purity. Fatal Purity. It was about this French revolutionary, the guy who was a catalyst of the French Revolution, Maximilien Robespierre, and I got to read that book, and it was really an eye opener. And on top of that, I got to read. I was basically, reading until the sun went down. After I got home from college, I would just read and read and read. And I got to read the Neil Gaiman series, Sandman. I got to read the last two books out of the series. I couldn't read the whole series, but I got to read the last two books in the series at that time. And what else? I got to read some Scott McCloud books, which were Understanding Comics and Reinventing Comics. I fashioned myself a comic book artist back then. I had the table, I had the drawing table, but regardless to say, I never put out a comic, and so things progressed. I thought I was gonna die, but I ended up just losing my home, and I survived. So that was a good thing. And then I moved to a different part of the city, and now basically I just continued reading after that. And 2014, was it 2014? No, 2013. 2013 I read 36 books. 2014 it was 46. No, it was 2014. Yeah, 2014 I read 36 books. 2015 it was 47, and then last year it was also 47, I think, and then this year it's basically, well, it's I'm gonna finish at least 58 books. So, a lot of great memories over the years. And not only did I finish, not only did I read all those books, but I've also finished writing my first novel, which I'm going to market currently. So, yeah, that's my reading journey. The reason why I changed my channel to Lifelong Reading is because it's the one thing that I really hold dear to my heart. People are like, you should be one. People are like, I should be one of those goofy black guys who just just goofs around on the internet for views. And I'm not gonna lie, when I try to be serious, everybody thinks I'm goofing around. But this is definitely something that really, I mean, I could read for the rest of my life. Which, for 1 second, hold on a second. A special occasion. This is the first Danielle Steele book I've ever bought. If you know Danielle Steele, the famous author, written, I believe, 120 something books. Well, she's writing like 4 a year, so I don't know how many it is now. So famous author Danielle Steele, and Past Perfect. I hope it's not a book about learning a language, because I'm already trying to do that, and it's really not that easy. So I'm hoping that's not the plot line. But yeah, I mean, reading is something that I can do all the time. Most people say that reading is boring. You have to jump around and be a clown. And I've already tried that. It doesn't work. So I'm just going to do what I actually enjoy. And I'm going to read these books. And yeah, that's my reading journey from not being able to finish a book until college to finishing 58 in a year. That's a sweet beginning right there. So I want us to start a movement, on the internet. I want people to think that reading books is cool. So, because the more people think it's cool, the better the books will get. And the books aren't getting better as fast as they should be. I mean, at the year that we're at right now, it should be much better. But let me know what you think. I want to know your reading story. What is when did you started reading? Why did you start reading? How does it make you feel? All this other stuff. Yeah. I was thinking for a second that maybe I should change the name of the channel to Your Reading Story. Maybe that should be the name of the channel from now on. I'm wondering about that. So lifelong reading wasn't, lifelong reading wasn't the best choice, but it was it described how I felt at the time. But Your Reading Story would be a probably a much better sort of title for the channel. I'll see if I can come up with some good graphic design for that. Alright, so respond to this video. Let me know what your reading story is, and I will be active in the comments. And have a nice day. Bye.